One morning, James was at the steamworks being repainted. He was getting a new coat of paint. Then Sir Topham Hatt arrived. Sir Topham Hatt told James that he had to join Thomas and Mavis at the quarry. James, you must take the quarry cars, you must take the stone cars to Brendam Docks. The stone cars must reach Brendam Docks before the ship sails, so no dilly-dallying, he said. When you are done being repainted, you must go collect them. I will, said James. When he was done being repainted, he set off at once. But James didn't go straight to the quarry. He decided to go by the lake instead. Then, as he puffed by the lake, he could see his reflection in the water for yard after yard after yard after yard after yard after yard. Magnificent, thought James. James had forgotten what Sir Topham Hatt had said. At the quarry yard, Thomas and Mavis were working as hard as they could. The line of stone cars was getting longer and longer. And the yard manager was getting really cross. Where could James be? Soon, James was still enjoying himself. There was no one around to share his fun, so he headed for Wellsworth. He headed for Knapford. But when James pulled into Knapford Station, Henry was taking the express. The passengers had gone. Bother, said James, and he headed for the branch lines. Then James passed by Donald and Douglas. Look at me, Donald. Look at me, Douglas. Don't I look fine? You should be at work, said Donald and Douglas. But James didn't listen to Donald and Douglas. James was enjoying being James. Thomas and Mavis were working really hard to fill the line of freight cars. the yard manager was really cross. "What will happen to the order now?" cried the yard manager. At last, James arrived at the quarry. When he arrived at the quarry, it was late in the afternoon. Thomas was very cross. Thomas was cross. So was Mavis and the yard manager. Mavis was cross too. "To make up for lost time," said the yard manager, "you must take an extra long line of quarry cars to the docks." James was pleased. The docks were full of bustling people. But Thomas was still very cross. Mavis was still cross as well. "The troublesome trucks are being really naughty," they said. But James wasn't listening. He was coupled up to his quarry cars. James puffed along with his quarry cars. He was taking them to the docks. But the cars were being really naughty. They bumped into each other. James's paintwork was soon covered in quarry dust. But the troublesome trucks were being really naughty. James passed by Donald and Douglas. But when James pulled into Brendan Dock, Porter and Salty were there. They were surprised to see James's new coat of paint. At last, Thomas arrived at Brendan Docks with the last of the quarry cars. "I like your new coat of paint," said Thomas cheekily. "You do look splendid." James knew he should have listened. He didn't feel splendid anymore. But for the first time all day, James could hear clearly. He could hear the sound of the troublesome trucks with the stone cars giggling at him. James smiled, and the stone was taken out of the cars and was put into the ship. At last, the ship sailed away with the stone. James was pleased. And despite feeling foolish, even Thomas and James had to smile. They were very pleased.